First of all, I want to give you a little clarity on what goes down on my channel. So basically, I give tips, tricks, secrets on success and who you really are as a person. I mean, when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to materialization, I take both of those and I bring them into balance so that you guys can understand who you are and that I can understand who I am in the process as well. This is a family thing. This is a team thing. We all work together. We work in cooperation, and the goal is to experience true happiness. It's to experience a life that you actually want to live. So without further ado,
Infinite vibrations. This is your boy Gabriel. I am here just to give you my own wisdom from my own spiritual growth is what I share. So everything I share to you is what I received from my higher self. All my spiritual journeys from the day I became awake to where I am today. So my YouTube name is Infinity Vibes. The reason why I chose that is that's my goal, to connect to my infinite self. Whatever you call God, I call it my infinite self, my higher self. That's my goal. So every day I live and breathe in connecting to that. And whatever I receive is what I share to you. This is Infinite Vibes. This is Infinite Vibrations. This is everything. Let's go. What I want to share about to you today is how to connect to your higher self, your infinite self. That's what I want to share. It's really, really important for you to connect to your own vibration, which is your own higher self, because it's gonna help you understand how to navigate through this life. This is a game, but in order for you to play this game, you must understand how this reality works. Whose matrix are you living in and breathing in? Whose matrix do you call your tradition or your culture? Whose matrix is telling you what's good and what's bad? It's important for you to understand that. Who are you when you look in the mirror? Are you looking at yourself, or are you looking at someone's perceived notion of who you are? That's very important. This shit is so deep that through my own journey, I realized that I'm looking at myself, but I'm seeing reflection of my father, my mother, all these people, all these celebrities and all these athletes, but I'm not seeing myself in the mirror. All I see was all these entities that I admire, but it's not me. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and stand in the mirror and have a mirror exercise to actually pierce through all those illusions, false illusion of who you are. And then that's when you can find your higher self, your infinite self. That moment that I had when I was trying to discover who I was, someone who was married and had a kid, but I had all these beautiful things in my life, but for some reason, I was not happy. Why wasn't I happy? Because that's this false illusion of what happiness is. You gotta have this amazing job, you gotta get married, you're gonna have a kid, you should have all this like 401k or all this stuff that should bring happiness to you. But I have news for you. I had all those things, but I didn't find that joy because I was living in someone's matrix of what happiness is, of what joy is, of what living life on this planet Earth is. So the first thing you have to realize is looking in the mirror and understand whose matrix are you living in? Who's telling you all these things that is true or not? Who is saying this is bad, this is good, this is what's supposed to be? Understand what matrix that you are in. When you realize what matrix that you're in, then you have to ask yourself, does that resonate to who I am? That's important. You must ask yourself these questions. Is this what I stand for? My higher self that's in this physical form, is this what my higher self stands for or not? So do I gravitate towards this standard of what beauty is? Do I gravitate towards this standard of what strength is? Do I gravitate in this standard of what wealth is, of what riches is, of what love is? Do I resonate to that? That's the questions you have to ask yourself in order for you to step outside of that matrix, of that false illusion of what joy and happiness and wealth is. So the most important thing for you to connect to your infinite higher self is to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself and be honest to yourself. Who am I? Who is this fucking person in this mirror? Who am I looking at? Am I looking at myself? Am I looking at the reflection of my exes? Am I looking at the reflection of my favorite actor? Am I looking at the reflection of my parents, my brother, my sister? Who am I looking in the mirror? You gotta look and say, okay, the moment that you start seeing yourself, that vulnerable child that has never blossomed, that's when the work starts. That's when your higher self will say, okay, now are you willingly to stand in your own energy? Are you willingly to step outside of this conditioned matrix that you have been living all your life to live in your own matrix, your own energy and stand in that energy to say, you know what, no, I don't have to do what they're doing. I can walk on my path. I am comfortable walking with my higher self, and I feel comfortable being there. Can you say no to the collective consciousness of what love is, of what having wealth is, of what having the so-called spiritual enlightenment means? Can you step in your own energy and say, this is my path, this is what good means, this is what bad means, this is what beauty means, this is what wealth means? Are you willing to stand and defend your own authenticity, your own energy, your higher self vibration, in order for you to pave the way for others to say, you know what, it's safe for me to live this comfortable matrix and step inside of the authentic self and create your authentic energy so that you can shine that light and help everyone evolve. So the first step is being honest to yourself. Who am I? What am I about? Whose energy am I standing on? Am I standing on this ground, my own self, standing here saying it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel weak, it's okay because in that weakness, in that strength, in that vulnerability, I find my own self, I find my infinite self, I find my own truth. So step into your own energy. Don't believe that you have to live in someone's vibration, but you have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, who am I living off of? Is this matrix? Is it me? Is this someone else's creation? You have to look in your mirror and see who you truly are. Is this the beauty that my inner self, wants for me? Is it? Or is this what somebody wants? Let me have six-pack because it's gonna give me the greatest joy. Then you have six-pack but you're not happy. But you don't even know who you are. Because someone says having six-pack will make you feel this way about yourself. When you eat all organic food and then you're gonna become more enlightened. Is that true? Or is that what your higher self says? Is that your own authentic energy? Does that mean when you fast and do all these things that you can find yourself? I don't know. But is that your own authentic energy? You have to ask your higher self, your own self, and step into your own fucking energy and say, you know what? I'm doing this because this is what is good for me. This is what is the perfect energy for me because I resonate to this. It's not what others are doing, but this is what's good for me to evolve mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Everything that you do that connects to your infinite self, your higher self, it's always about for you to grow in all four facets of life: mental, emotional, physically, and spiritually. When you combine those things, then you transform into your own infinite self, the fifth element. When you activate your physical essence, your emotional essence, your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual essence, you transmute and transform and transcend into your own infinite self. You connect and become one with your higher self. You stand in your own energy. You can wear whatever you want. You can do what the fuck you want, but you know that you know yourself and you can resonate in your own vibration. Then you don't have to lie and pretend because you speak your truth, because you know who you are. Know thyself, understand thyself, and then you can live happily ever after in any fucking dimension, in any universe, at any time. Peace, love, and infinite vibes. Your boy, out.